Hello and welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with us today. Look, today we are going to completely pull back the curtain and uncover the insider secrets of professional wealth management. And more importantly, we're going to figure out exactly how you can apply them to your own life. We're stripping away all that confusing financial jargon, we're tossing out the generic internet advice you see everywhere, and we are looking at the exact step-by-step frameworks the pros actually use to build genuine, lasting wealth. My goal for you today is simple: to give you a real roadmap that takes you from merely making money to actually keeping it, growing it, and protecting it over a lifetime. So let me ask you a very direct question right off the bat. Are you actually financially secure? Honestly, think about it for a second. It is incredibly easy to trick ourselves into thinking that just because we earn a good income, we're inherently safe. I mean, we see that money hit our bank account every month, we pay our bills on time, and we just kind of assume, hey, that's enough, right? But I'm going to challenge your assumptions about wealth today. Earning a high salary absolutely does not automatically grant you financial security. In fact, and this is wild, a high income can sometimes be the very thing that blinds us to how close we actually are to the edge. By the end of this explainer, you'll understand exactly why, and way more importantly, how to fix it. Okay, let's dive right into this. And just so you know, we aren't pulling these theories out of thin air today. We're going straight to the source material, the official National Institute of Securities Markets, or NISM, Investment Advisor Level 1 Workbook. This isn't just some casual book. This is the actual professional curriculum used to certify investment advisors in India. It is literally the rule book for wealth management professionals. By digging into this specific text, we get an exclusive look at the highly calculated methodologies that real financial planners use the second a client walks through their door. We're taking their professional playbook, and we're handing it directly to you. Now, to make this super real, the curriculum gives us a highly relatable case study. So meet Vinod. He's 40 years old, he's the sole earner for his family, and he brings in a very respectable 2 lakh rupees a month. Not bad at all. After paying for his house, his car, and his family's daily living expenses, he manages to save 40,000 rupees every single month. He's got some tax savings, a few bank deposits, maybe some mutual funds that he throws money into whenever he remembers. Looking at this surface-level data, Vinod assumes his family is completely 100% financially secure. He pays his bills, puts a chunk of money away, and they live comfortably. So why wouldn't he feel secure? Well, the professional workbook rapidly dismantles Vinod's illusion of security. It asks these critical questions that instantly reveal his incredibly dangerous financial blind spots. For instance, what happens if his income is suddenly interrupted? Like, does he have an emergency fund to keep the lights on? If he were to tragically pass away, does his life insurance adequately replace that 2 lakh monthly income for his family? What if there's a massive medical emergency? Will it completely wipe out all his savings? I mean, sure, he's saving $40,000 a month, but what is his target corpus size? Does he even know how much he needs to retire, or is he just blindly guessing? Suddenly, Vinod is looking very, very vulnerable. And, this brings us to a major, absolutely crucial distinction in the financial world. There is a massive difference between typical financial advisory and true financial planning. Typical advisory is exactly what Vinod has been doing for years. Buying a mutual fund here because a buddy recommended it, or opening a bank deposit there just to save a little on taxes. It's piecemeal product buying without any larger vision. True financial planning, however, that is holistic. It's a comprehensive map of your entire life, making sure that your investments, your insurance, your cash flow, and your retirement goals are completely integrated and working together, not fighting against each other.
All right, let's get into the solution. Section 1, the prescription, goal setting.
So how exactly do we fix Vinod's situation? How do we start building that comprehensive map? Well, the NSIM curriculum gives us a very clear prescription, and it starts fundamentally with setting goals. And no, you can't just say, oh, I want to be rich or I want to buy a big house someday. As the workbook explicitly points out, vague desires always fail. Professional goal setting requires a strict, uncompromising formula. First, your goals must have specific details. Second, they have to be measurable. Like, you need an exact rupee amount attached to that goal. Third, they need to be realistic based on what you actually earn. I mean, if the node saves 40,000 rupees a month, setting a goal that requires him to save 80,000 a month is pure fantasy. And fourth, they absolutely must have clear time-bound deadlines. Saying, I want to retire in exactly 20 years with a corpus of 5 crore rupees, now that is a professional-grade goal. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Even with a high income, you simply cannot afford everything all at once. You absolutely have to rank your goals.
The text warns us about the immense danger of letting short-term, urgent consumption completely derail your critical long-term needs. Look, a luxury holiday to Europe is incredibly tempting right now, right? And the marketing for it is constantly in your face. But prioritizing that holiday over your retirement corpus or your kids' education literally robs you of the most powerful force in finance: compound interest over time. Every single rupee Vinod spends today on immediate consumption is a rupee that cannot multiply itself over the next 20 years. This naturally builds into an actionable strategy using the concept of staggering. The curriculum explains that if Vinod wants to buy a house that requires a massive down payment, he doesn't necessarily have to completely cancel all his other goals. He just needs to stagger them across a timeline. It's like a giant puzzle. For example, his absolute first priority in month 1 is to build that missing emergency fund. Then, instead of a lavish, crazy expensive vacation in year 1, maybe he takes a shorter, much cheaper holiday. By just compromising slightly in the short term and deferring that massive house purchase to year 3, he gives his finances the breathing room to actually hit the big target. He achieves his goals sequentially, instead of trying to do everything at once and failing at all of it.
Okay, moving right along to Section 2, Mastering Your Cash Flow. Now that our goals are set and staggered, we hit the next crucial pillar: mastering your cash flow. Because frankly, a massive income is totally useless if the actual movement of that money is managed poorly. Actually, get this, you can literally spend less than you earn overall and still end up in massive debt. How? Because of a cash flow mismatch. Imagine Vinod earns plenty to cover his lifestyle, but a huge expense, let's say his kid's annual school fee, hits on the 2nd of the month, and his salary doesn't clear until the 7th. If he doesn't have liquid reserves sitting there, he is forced into short-term borrowing, like swiping credit cards, which carry insanely punitive interest rates. That interest eats directly into the 40,000 rupees he was supposed to be saving. So to fix this, you have to map your money across time. This right here is the ultimate professional tool to prevent those dangerous cash flow crunches: a highly disciplined household budget table. Notice how the timing dictates absolutely everything in this framework. On the 1st of the month, Vinod's 200,000 rupee salary hits. Boom. He immediately pays his 40,000 rupee rent, leaving him with a very healthy 160,000 rupee balance. He's feeling pretty rich. But watch what happens next. By the 5th, a heavy outflow of 60,000 hits for EMIs and bills, dropping his balance to 100,000. Then on the 20th, another 60,000 outflow hits for insurance and groceries. Notice there is no new income on the 5th or the 20th. By tracking these exact dates of inflows and outflows, you see your running balance at any given moment. This ensures you never accidentally run out of liquidity before your next paycheck, which protects your hard-earned savings from that high-interest emergency debt. And that brings us to our final pillar, Section 3, Protecting Your Master Plan. So we have our goals beautifully mapped out, and we have our cash flow locked down tight. But listen to me carefully. The most brilliant financial roadmap in the entire world means absolutely nothing if it doesn't have a safety net to catch it when life inevitably happens. In professional wealth management, insurance is not considered an investment that you try to make money on. No, it is purely a risk transfer mechanism. It's a shield. Life insurance transfers the catastrophic financial risk of a permanent loss of income if the sole earner, like Vinod, were to pass away. It ensures his family still gets the equivalent of that 2 lakh a month. Health and accident insurance, they transfer the risk of a temporary loss of income or the immense risk of your entire life savings being drained by just one bad hospital stay. Without this shield firmly in place, Vinod's carefully staggered goals and perfectly timed cash flows are literally just one bad day away from total ruin.
Now, I want to read you this quote directly from the NISM workbook because it so beautifully summarizes the core ethos of our entire strategy today. Financial planning is a dynamic process. I love that. It is not a one-time event. It isn't something you simply set up on a Sunday afternoon and then completely forget about for the next 20 years. It is a living, breathing strategy that has to constantly evolve. As Vinod's income scales up, well, his plan has to adapt. As his life circumstances change, maybe a new child or a career pivot, his plan has to adapt. And as the global markets shift, his investment vehicles have to be recalibrated. You have to constantly match the moving parts of the economy with the moving parts of your own life. We've looked really deeply at Vinod's initial vulnerabilities today, and we've walked step by step through the precise professional frameworks needed to solve them. Rigorous goal setting, meticulous cash flow management, and absolute risk transfer through insurance. So right now, I want to leave you with a direct challenge. Look in the mirror today and ask yourself honestly, what is your biggest financial blind spot? Is it a fantasy goal that has no real timeline or measurable amount? Is it a hidden cash flow mismatch that's slowly, quietly draining your wealth through credit card interest?
Or is it a lack of a proper insurance shield, leaving everything you've built completely exposed? Identify it today because remember, a high income will not save you if your underlying plan is fundamentally broken. Take the professional tools we learned today, apply them, and take true control of your financial future. Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer.